Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and the Flipping Accountant. We've got Justin here, and we are always really excited for our guests. But Justin, for some reason, to me, is even more exciting because he's got so many things going on. There's going to be so many great conversations to be had. And so we have this monthly talk with resellers about financial independence because the talk with resellers and just in general, I think, have this mindset of, you want to be able to do things at your own pace and kind of be your own boss. And reselling gives you that. And so that mindset of being financially independent is very much in line with that mentality. And so that's why we have this talk each month. And we are so glad that you're joining us. So if you are watching this live, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you check out Justin, the Flipping Accountant, there in his channel. We've got his information down below as well. And so we always like to start this off with a quick 6 where we just break the ice with Justin.
Sure.
Okay, so first question is vacation or staycation?
Vacation or staycation. So I've been on a staycation for about 2 years now. We're working from home. I've been blessed with the ability to do my full-time job working from home, going into the office occasionally. So I'm all about getting out, traveling, doing fun stuff, seeing the world. So yeah, so I'm ready to vacation and get out of this house for a while.
All right. Yeah, they recently lifted the mask mandates on federal, the federal mask mandates on those flights
planes and trains, right?
Yeah. So really exciting for a lot of people, I imagine. Okay, so high risk, huge potential, or low risk, steady returns?
Yeah, so as an accountant, generally speaking, we're very conservative, boring people. So I mean, I guess like the typical answer would be just to say like, okay, like low risk, low return and all of that. But at the same time, you're never going to get anywhere if you're really not taking any risk and you're not trying to move the needle at all. If you wanted to invest in something super safe and boring and put your money into like, T-bills or T-bonds or whatever, you could earn 1 or 2%, but you're never going to make any money and you're not going to keep up with inflation either. So it goes against my heart and my better nature, but I will say higher risk, higher return.
Oh, interesting.
And I kind of feel like Lego kind of fit into that too, because, it's a fun investment. I think it's kind of cool. But you never know, the bottom could just fall out tomorrow, right? So there's any kind of risk with investing, but that's what I like to invest in is tiny little plastic bricks and in the hope that they multiply over time.
Hey, it's been working out for you. Great. We love seeing you sell all of your investments, right? And it's a long-term play, which I think it's just so interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure, but I've been learning, and you're always learning. Hopefully, you're always learning. But I've found kind of the sweet spot with Lego for me is like 6 months to 12 months. Then I turn around and sell it. So just to kind of give you guys an example, I brought props with me just for fun.
Right? Nice, we love it.
So this is kind of my favorite investment right now, and I'll explain why. Like these little sets right here, like you can find these at like Walmart, Target. And the MSRP on these is like $10. Sometimes you can find them on sale for like 6 to 8, but I like them at I like them at any price for this little set right here. So this is $10 MSRP. I've been selling these for $40 a piece on Amazon.
Whoa.
Wow.
And I bought, I don't know, I probably had like 100 plus of this Kylo Ren set, and they've been selling for like $40 a piece.
Wow.
And I'm completely sold out. Like they're all gone now.
Wow.
But I had to keep one for myself as like a little reminder that, when you find something you like, you got to kind of stick with it. So
yeah. Nice. Well, we're definitely going to talk more about that.
Yeah, for sure. So which do you enjoy more, cooking for someone or having someone cook for you?
I like to cook. Yeah.
All right.
I'm all about that. I guess I've never had somebody really want to cook for me, which ladies, if you're out there, not
yes.
I'm just kidding. I enjoy cooking. I have a KitchenAid, one of those like Hobart type mixer, with like the arm or the whatever.
Mhm.
So instead of buying like the pre-made the cookie sheets and you just stick it in the oven, no man, give me the recipe book.
All
Let
right.
me spend $50 cooking some $5 cookies, but they're going to be delicious. So
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it, and it's
Yeah.
great. I don't know if you know this, but when you make cookies yourself, they're calorie free, fat free. It's fantastic. So.
Yeah. I made some peanut butter cookies this afternoon, so I do know about that. Yes.
Okay, I'll send you my mailing address. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll send you some for to thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is, if you won 500,000 in the lottery, would you take one lump sum or payments over time?
If I won 500,000 and either lump sum or payments over time, probably lump sum, and I would use part of it to help my mom and help her get set up for retirement because she's pretty close to retirement, and just
Nice.
as like a thank you to her because she's been such a huge part of my life and such a positive force in my life. And then maybe kind of help my family out, with other stuff like that. And then the rest of it, I would just put away for investments, maybe buy one nice thing for myself, and then the rest of it put away. Over a longer time horizon, I guess maybe the payments would be nice. But if that amount of money fell into my lap right now, I have things that I would do with it to help my family and other people. But
Right.
Again, not a typical boring accounting answer. They would normally say like, yeah, over time and invested and blah blah blah. Hand me that check.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful answer. But also, I think there's an argument to be made about fighting inflation. It just wouldn't be as good in long term. That money just wouldn't be as good if it's not being invested or it's not gaining any money. So being the person that you are, I'm sure that you would be very responsible, unlike some people who win the lottery and they just burn through it. I'm sure you would have a plan, but
that's one of those things. Like I've read about like lottery winners, like a lot of them, like they just blow through their money and then they end up bankrupt, or there's a lot of sad stories about like tragic lottery winners that, something bad happened to them or they get targeted, stuff like that.
Right.
And kind of what you're talking about is like the time value of money. Like a dollar today is not worth the same as a dollar, next week or next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like our purchasing power is always going down.
Exactly.
So that's why you want to be smart about your investments and what you're doing with your money and all that kind of stuff. But we're on the same page.
Yeah. We're dropping knowledge already, and we're still only in the icebreaker.
That's
Jeez.
awesome.
Great.
Okay, so free travel for 1 year, but you have to travel the entire year.
Okay.
Or free lodging for 2 years, but you can't go anywhere for 2 years.
Yeah. Travel, please.
Oh.
Let's go now, because I could be like a nomad. Like I could do my full-time job wherever I had internet connection. Although they wouldn't approve of that. They would be like, no, sir, your agreement says you would be at this place. But
the tax implications, right? You would know about that, yeah.
For anyone watching, I definitely would not travel while working, FYI. But I mean, the idea to just like kind of travel and work anywhere would be, in my mind, I think that'd be kind of amazing.
So, yeah, for sure.
Again, maybe if you'd asked me 5 years ago, maybe my answer would have been a little bit different. Oh, how being stuck in my house for 2 years, that would be great. No.
Yeah.
No, it's been 2 years. I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, one last question to round off this quick six. What do you are you the type of person who needs a pep talk or from someone else, or are you the type of person that is self-motivating, that you can kind of talk yourself into or hyping yourself up?
Yeah. I mean, you guys can probably tell I'm like really low energy. I have a hard time doing stuff by myself. So Bernie kind of gets me going in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wakes me up, he paws at the bed and he's like, hey dude, take me out. It's time. All right, I'll start my day.
Natural alarm clock, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Natural alarm clock.
Yeah, natural alarm clock. Yeah, he's all about that. I'm a very outgoing person. I don't know if you could tell. I actually, fun fact, I'll tell you guys a fun fact. I've never shared this before. in high school, we did like superlatives, like
Mhm.
brightest personality, smiliest person, like stuff like that, like most athletic, best hair and stuff like that. And I won for most outgoing. Believe it or
Oh,
Wow.
really?
All right.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you heard it first here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So generally speaking, I'm 99% of the time I'm pretty good at getting myself motivated to get going, and I'm one of those weird people that makes like to-do lists every day, and it just helps. Like I'm just like, all right, we got to get this done, we got to get this and this and this, and I had a list earlier today, and I have a list after the show. But you guys are my 100% focused tonight, right now, and
Excellent.
yeah, I was excited to be here. But generally speaking, if it's a good day, then I'm pretty motivated. But if it's not, I'm very blessed that I have supporters on Instagram and YouTube, and I have great family and friends that are there for me, that are they're always pushing me to like do more. And it's kind of funny because my mom is probably my best advertiser for my YouTube, because
Nice.
like I don't really tell anybody, like in my like personal life, I don't really go around like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Like you never, like in Michigan, that's where I'm from, I'm wearing my Michigan shirt.
Mhm.
My mom, like if I'm with my mom, one of the first things she says, oh, this is Justin, he's my son, he lives in Alabama, he has a YouTube channel.
Nice.
Like, you can stop anytime, that's fine. But
You're a YouTuber first and then an accountant second, right?
Right. Yeah. No, my mom, it's pretty funny because she's very outgoing too. But it's funny because like when we're together, I'm not as outgoing because that's kind of her role. So I'm just kind of take a step back. But yeah, there's a long answer to a short question. Generally, I'm a motivated person.
No, that's great. Well, it's so interesting that you went into accounting, because that's like when we think of accountants, it's like, the people who are more reserved, who like to stick to themselves, who are
Right.
more introverted, but you kind of break that mold. And so that's awesome. And we can totally see why you are successful in pretty much the things that you've been doing in the reselling community, connecting with so many people. It's just amazing. And so you've got a great personality for sure, and you connect with so many people, and I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you. I do what I can. It took me a while to kind of like break out of my mold for like my YouTube channel and stuff like that, because like when I first started my videos, I was kind of awkward. I mean, I'm still awkward, but like just like my talking to the camera, I wasn't like very energetic talking to the camera. I was like, hi, my name's Justin. This is what I sold on Amazon. And my close friend at the time, she was like, you have such a great personality. She's like, you're very, outgoing and you have a lot of energy. She's like, why don't you just be yourself on camera? And I'm like, it's easier said than done, but I will do my best.
We've had we had that issue at the beginning too. We were so rigid, and I think everyone kind of goes through that. I think that for every person in the chat now who does YouTube or otherwise, it's just one of those rites of passage. It's like you throw a few videos out there that just aren't that great, but you keep it there for posterity, because you see where you've come.
You can always go back and compare where you are now to where you started, and you can see your progress, and that's really cool too. And
totally
you
cringe.
can see,
and totally cringe.
Yeah, some of my older thumbnails, I was like, what was I thinking? Like, this looks terrible.
Okay, so before we go into the main part of the show, I really want to take some time to say hi to some people. Part-time Hustle, hey, thanks so much for being here. We've got Joe Dempsey Sales.
Nice.
We've got Christy over Mom's Closet TX. We've got the Hoogs.
Nice.
Rachel Strickland. Oh, yeah, she's here for the Lego talk.
And what up, Rachel?
What does AFOL mean?
Yeah, tell us.
So AFOL is Adult Fan of Lego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a Reddit abbreviation or something?
No, it's more like in the Lego community. It's kind of like everyone's way of saying like, hey, we're adults, but it's okay to like Lego because we have money to buy Lego, and we didn't have those as a kid, or maybe we did and we just grew into it or whatever. But it's just a shorthand. It's one of those things like either you know what the acronym means or you don't, and you guys are part of the club now.
All right.
Well, there you go. And everyone who's watching this. So.
That's right.
We're all in on the lingo. That's good.
That's so interesting. Now I can go to my friend Ian. He used to be a master builder. Now I'll be like, hey,
Yeah.
I know what this means. We got Crispy's Toys and Treasures. Hey, thanks so much
Welcome.
for joining us.
Yeah.
We got Marcus over at Dixon's Pickens. Sandra P. Hey, Sandra. And Chris and Stacy over at Flip the World.
Yeah, I was just watching Chris and Stacy's premiere before I jumped in, and I was
Nice.
almost late, but I was watching them dig through the bins. It was
Nice.
it's their videos are always interesting to me because they always find such cool stuff at the bins. And I've only been like one or like I've been like twice, and I never found anything good. And I was like, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta go more.
I think the Houston bins especially have really good stuff compared to other bins. So they're not like the best bins that we've ever been to, but consistently there's like better stuff than some other cities that we've seen.
You also got to go a few times.
Yeah.
So you can't just do a sample of one and say, well, I like it or I don't. Yeah. You should probably give it at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But,
but you might not pick up the stuff that like goes to the bins. You know, like we never find video games. We found one Lego.
Yeah, we recently found a Lego chess set that was discontinued.
Oh, nice.
And and the comps on eBay show about $100. And we're like, thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
We were definitely thinking about you when we picked it up, and it's missing the queen, but even with the missing queen, it should still go for quite a bit.
That's
awesome. Got Big Cheese Thrifts. And
my man Colby in the house. What up, Colby? Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks so much for being here.
Such a great name for
Big
his
Cheese
channel then. Oh
Colby.
my gosh.
I wonder if his middle name is Jack. Colby Jack.
Probably not.
Anyway, Sarah Harper. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
We got a question. Is there any money in looking for older Lego sets, or is it more just a type of retail arbitrage?
That's a good.
Yeah, let's start off with a question.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's tons of money in older Lego sets. There are like there's different kinds of Lego investors. There's people that do like the quick flips, like they just buy brand new sets and they turn around and flip them while they're hard to find. But people that invest in older sets, there's tons of them out there. And there's other websites that you can use for like older sets. If it's a brand new set, then I would try to sell it on Amazon because in my experience, that's where I get the best price. But there are websites dedicated to just selling Lego. Like Bricklink is a website that is just dedicated to selling Lego. And you can sell sets like together, or you can sell them individually. Like if you have the patience to sort out like thousands of pieces or whatever, there are people that make tons and tons of money doing that stuff. Or eBay or Mercari, something like that. I'm not really super experienced with Mercari, but eBay for sure is a great place to sell used Lego sets or pre-owned or pre-loved or whatever they want to call it nowadays. But yeah, absolutely. There is definitely a market for older, hard to find, vintage or just retired Lego sets. And for anyone that doesn't know, retired just means it's not being made anymore.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have picked up that chess set because apparently it's no longer being made, and the comps were really surprising, first of all, and the sell-through rate is about 100 or 200%. So very excited. Hopefully it'll sell soon.
Yeah. Rachel Strickland just jumped in and she said, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and take those off your hands."
Yeah. Just send all the old sets to her.
Yeah.
Okay, Christy said, "Lego is how I got back into reselling at the end of 2020. They were used, but sort of nearly about $1,000. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. The Lord of the Rings sets are way cool, and they're hard to find. So yeah, definitely selling for a premium for sure.
Yeah, it's like a combination of like two fandoms, like Lego and Lord of the Rings. Like I bet when you have a combination of fandoms,
and that's something that I like investing in. Is I like investing in sets that are like limited run, or like if it's like a movie or something that they're not going to make for like a long time. Like some of the Star Wars movie sets have done really good. Some of them are not so good, but it just kind of depends. But yeah, when you combine two big brands like that, like there are Lego Simpsons sets, there are Lego Scooby-Doo sets, there's Lego SpongeBob sets. You guys have probably never seen these before because they sold them like years ago. And if you ever see them at the bins or at a thrift store, look into them because they're worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think my brother might have had a Simpsons Lego set, but I'm not sure. We had just like it was all in a bin, so I don't remember all the different. You would have to sort through all of it.
The one that I'm thinking of is like the Simpsons house set, like the iconic Simpsons house, and it's a legit Lego set, and I think they sell for like $500-600.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That'd be sweet if we had that. I don't
Okay.
know. It seems like all the valuable things are the things that my mom is taking to Goodwill and that sort of thing. But not real. I mean, we have a few things left, so we'll have to look into that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, before we begin, we need to get this out of the way because Justin is an accountant, and anything and everything that we talk about, whether it be regular investing or Lego investing, it's not meant to be investing advice. Obviously, we're just talking as resellers and kind of for entertainment purposes. Hopefully you get something out of it, but don't get them in trouble. Don't get us in trouble.
Yeah. So the typical disclaimer is I am a licensed CPA, but this is not financial advice. So
yes.
Good to go.
There you go.
There is no advice being given. Yeah.
Hey, so
all right. Well, let me say hi to a couple more people. Steadfast Selection says that there's a Lego Queen on eBay for only $6.
You're missing
Nice.
fees, huh?
Maybe we can make a complete set.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Is that worth the trouble?
I don't know.
I might want to just sell
You'll
it.
have to look at it.
Yeah, I just might want to sell it as is.
Yeah. And Gino Fines, welcome. Hey, how's it going? And he says, let's see. He says, I saw a large bag of loose Legos. Are they worth money?
Yeah, so really it's just going to depend on like what kind of sets that they are. If it's just generic like Lego classic sets, which are just like the colored bricks with no different, special sets to them, maybe not. But if they're super vintage, like super old, there's a good chance. It's kind of like you just have to look them up on eBay or Bricklink and try to find, what those sets are worth. There's a lot of YouTube channels that talk about Lego investing, talk about Lego reselling. There's Lego collectors. Minifigures can be worth quite a bit, and those are just like the little plastic people. But some minifigures go for a ridiculous amount of money. It's kind of hard to believe, but yeah, they can be worth money. It's just going to take you time to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Google the Google Lens really helped me out the other day because we had one random one in that chess set, and it comps for like $25. I was like,
a minifig, just minifig.
Nice. That's awesome.
Which is crazy to us.
Yeah.
And then
what kind of set was it? Like a Star Wars or Ninja Turtle?
Ninjago Pixel. It was yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Use definitely use Google.
I'll grab one of my props. Ninjago.
Nice.
Nice.
So.
Wow,
that's a big set.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is normally a $70 MSRP, and I got it on clearance at Walmart for $40, so it was $30 off.
Nice.
So
love it.
And Rachel asks, how fast are you running to get the new Muppet minifigs? Is that a big fandom? I wouldn't think that would have like a big following, but
you'd be surprised. They're pretty cool. Like they're pretty neat. They actually kind of leaked them a few weeks before that they like actually like released or whatever. But they're pretty cool. I'll probably grab some just for the collection. But I do have some. If I could point, I do have some up here. You just can't really see them.
Oh yeah.
I have some of the Marvel what ifs. Like I have Captain America up here. There's several Captain Americas. I have a Loki up here. So I'll probably line this up here, maybe get some better lighting. But yeah, the Muppet ones are pretty cool, but I'm not in any rush to get those. But how about you, Rachel? Have you found any of the Muppets yet?
Part-time hustle. Thank you so much. Yeah, we share these earbuds just so that there's no extra feedback.
Yeah, and we don't have a splitter thing or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay.
And I think maybe we only have one pair that actually like plugs into the computer. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. But anyway.
keeps you guys close.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So So we're here to talk about a lot of things, but among them is financial independence, which kind of brought us together in a way. And so let's just have a working definition for everyone in the chat. It's basically when you have investments and savings and passive income that equal to or are greater than what you need to live on, right? And so this idea that it's kind of working for you to the point where maybe you don't have to work as much or at all, and you kind of live off of that. And so you basically get to do what you want at your own pace. And when it comes to us, we hope to kind of get to a certain invested amount and then maybe resell part-time,
Right.
just to cover a lot of extraneous expenses, but otherwise draw down on our investments. Do you have anything to add about that, or any mentalities that you have with regard to financial independence?
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head. Just having an amount that you can rely on. Let's say if you like quit your job today, do you have enough money to live off of essentially for the rest of your life? Would you be financially independent? Do you have enough money to cover your expenses? Do your investments have enough time to continue growing while you have a drawdown rate, while you have a withdrawal rate, and then you'll be fine. They talk about like the 4% rule. You can pull out X amount, like 4% from your investments, and then continue to let it grow and then live off of that. So we've talked about that a little bit in the DMs, and I've done some research on that on my own. I've read books on that. I have a master's degree in accounting. I have a bachelor's degree in finance. I'm all about money. I make spreadsheets for fun. I'm kind of a nerd in that way.
I love it.
Yeah,
we do too.
It's fun because there's so many ways you can go about it. You could do real estate investing or real estate investing, investments. Those are two different words, not one.
Yeah.
Reselling like us here, and there's no like one size fits all for everybody, right? Like there's the different kinds of fire, fat fire, lean fire, and all of that. I won't get into that. Feel free if you want to, but I feel like we have a good standard definition of financial independence.
Yeah, for sure. And when Justin mentions FIRE, it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, and that's something that we're pursuing as well. And we hope to retire in our early 50s or late 40s, and so we're pretty ambitious, and I think we can get there. But do you ever wonder, when you're on this path to financial independence, some of the things you'll never compromise, like essentially you'll never give up any part of your lifestyle, like eating beans and rice? You would never do that just so that you can get to financial independence earlier.
I enjoy eating rice, so that's not a compromise for me.
Yeah, so do we.
I'm just, it's kind of funny because it's like, if you had $500,000, what would you do with it? I don't know. I wouldn't really change much about my life because I'm happy with my lifestyle, and I'm happy with the way things are going, and things are progressing for me and stuff like that. And that's just more of like just being centered and happy with who you are and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. But as far as like, are there things that I wouldn't really compromise? Like I own my own house. I really like having my own house, but if I went bankrupt tomorrow, would I refuse living with a family member to get back on my feet? No, I wouldn't. It's I don't know. There's not really much. I can't think of any obstacles in my way that would keep me from retiring before 50, I guess. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. To us, I asked that question because people tend to think that people, on the outskirts, people think that people who are in the financial independence community are depriving themselves of a good life. But that's really not true if you build the life that you want within reason, right? We like eating good food, but we like cooking good food so that we don't have to go to restaurants and pay the premium and stuff like that. So that's the easiest thing that we can think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question for you is, would you rather cook your own food, or would you rather have somebody cook it for you?
It's a great question.
What would you say?
I love it when I get to eat my mom's cooking, but at the same time, I love cooking with Camilla because we do a very team-based cooking where just earlier today, we made a meal and she did the chopping of the vegetables and stuff, and I did the cooking or preparing and the cooking of the chicken. And so I enjoy it. We enjoy it as a couple. An activity.
But you guys, that's something that's fun for you, and you enjoy doing that. It's not like you're saying, like, it's not like you're depriving yourself. It's like, even if you had $1 million in the bank, you would still like cooking your own food because you just enjoy it. It's fun.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's part of like, if you're thinking about it in terms of like a hobby, and I think that when you're able to kind of have that mindset about things like cooking, for me, it's like, okay, well, part of the fun is like picking out the recipes and then, like making the food and getting better at each of the skills, knowing, the different, things that go together and all of that. It's like fun to acquire this new skill, and become like a master at it. So that's part of it too, where you can kind of gamify your life in some ways, but yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's part of it for us, for sure. We do have a lot of fun. Let's see.
Rachel says, please make merch that says I make spreadsheets for fun. Actually, I am sure that someone in the fire community probably already has that on
probably. I could make those. I have a merch by Amazon account. I don't talk about it too much, but like I used to design t-shirts with just like funny sayings on it and stuff like that. And what I do is I would make like one funny saying, but I would change like one word, and then I would make like 50 variations of the same thing.
Wow.
So like this would be like a good example. Like I make spreadsheets for fun. I make pies for fun. I make cookies for fun. Stuff like that. Like you can make like 100 variations of the same thing. I don't really do that stuff anymore. Like I still have my account, but I still make like $50 to $100 a month, and I literally do nothing.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, there you go. Another side hustle. If you're interested, chat.
Yep.
Rachel also said, I want Miss Piggy so bad. And Kermit.
But
Big Cheese said someone's out hunting. That's probably when you showed all those other.
Yeah. So if I could point, my buddy Colby over here, Big Cheese Thrifts, he's only a few hours away from me. I know where he's at. And he actually kind of tipped me that he had seen some Legos on clearance. And I actually went out last night and I filmed a vlog and I bought some stuff just because I haven't done any shopping videos in a while. And I did like a different spin on a shopping vlog last night. Like instead of going to the store and I was like, I'm going to buy as much as I can and see how much money I can make on Amazon. What I did was, hey, here's my plan. I'm going to go and I'm going to shop all the clearance and see how much money I can save versus buying it at a normal price. So I did. Yeah, just to kind of mix it up, just to be different, Nice. So I was there for like an hour or whatever, and long story short, I spent $697 and I saved $450.
All right, jeez, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. So it was I think it was around like 40% that I saved versus like MSRP. And like honestly, like Lego don't go on sale super often, and when they do, the discounts aren't very good. So the video is more, and I kind of do an explainer at the end, but like the video is more for like this video isn't great for resellers right now, but it's great if you're looking to buy stuff for your kids, or you're saving stuff for a birthday, or you're just a collector or whatever. So people kind of get stuck on the I limit content for resellers. Well, there's a lot of people that watch our stuff that are not resellers. Like they just enjoy our content. So.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
that's great. In my mind, that resonates with me, because when I buy something on sale, I always think I'm saving this much. So I think that would resonate with a lot of people. I think you're onto something. Yeah.
So it was just different, just kind of mix it up. Plus I found something really cool that I didn't buy and I might still buy it, but they had the power up arcade machines, like the home arcade machines you can buy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they had like the Simpsons. And I love The Simpsons, and it's the arcade game, and it has 2 games in it, and it's normally $530, and they have it on clearance for $200 right now.
Wow, that's a deal.
So I was like, do I need this? I don't need this. I mean, I talked about it in the video, like, hey, if I bought 3 of these, I would save almost $1,000, but I don't need 3 of these.
Right. Oh, geez. Is that Steve says, wait, who's coming? Who's cooking me food? Well, if you're in Alabama, you should ask Justin. If you're in Houston, you should, come ask us.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rachel, she's been saving up for her car. Just kidding. Both my wife and I are pretty good cooks and like to cook. We eat out on occasion, but because restaurant food is better, but because we don't.
Oh, not because restaurant food is better.
Okay.
But because someone else gets to do the dishes. That's true.
I gotcha.
That is a really nice thing about going out to eat.
Yeah. And that's not to say that we never go out to eat, but it's one of those things where the majority of our meals are cooked at home. So we just like the how much can we save by buying things on clearance? It's like how much can we really save as compared to a regular restaurant meal? You know, we're on average we're spending like $20 to $25 on a cheap, quote unquote, cheap meal at a restaurant. Sure. But here we can make something. You know, obviously it takes time and ingredients, but it boils down to about $5. So for us, we keep things real low, and it still tastes good. So anyway.
I recently read a statistic that said that the average American goes out to eat, or like the average time that an American goes out to eat is 250 times a year, which is crazy to me, because that means that some people go out to eat more than 250 times. Because we don't go, I mean, we go out to eat like maybe 3 times a month, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that must be, you know, people must be eating lunch, you know, out every day, and then also eating dinner, you know, out. I just was like, that is so much. That is like way higher than I thought the average would be.
Yeah, if you're eating, you know, if you're eating 3 times a day and 365 days in a year, I mean, what if you're eating out like every meal? You're eating out like 1,000 times a year. Like even half, like you're saying, like 300, like that just seems insane just to say it like that.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, I do know people that do that. You know, I had one of my sister's friends in college, her family owned a restaurant, and they never cooked at home. They always ate out. So it's like,
and you know, that's not to knock anybody who does that, that's because you know, for us, we have a goal with our money, and that is against our goal. And so if you value going out to eat and enjoying that time, you know, not having to do the dishes, not having to cook. If you aren't a particularly good cook and you know it, you know, you don't want to keep burning meals and stuff and just wasting money, then that's for you, sure. But for us, we value things differently. And so if you value restaurants, then we encourage you to, you know, keep putting your money into it because you value it. That's all we're about. You know, we understand our values, and that's where we decide to put our money.
Sure.
So I saw The Simpsons one last week here, but it wasn't one on sale.
So he saw the Simpsons arcade machine on.
Oh dang, that stinks. Hi Patrick. Patrick Murphy is here.
Hey Patrick, got that smooth jazz voice in the chat. How you doing, sir?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, so we wanted to know a little bit about your story, Justin. So we've talked a little bit about financial independence. We've talked a little bit about Legos and reselling, but I'd love to hear kind of what came first in your life. Was it, you know, this interest in finances and then you discovered reselling, or was it you discovered reselling and then you had this interest in financial independence? And so kind of where have you been? What was the trajectory? And then kind of where you're going from here?
Yeah. I can answer parts of that. I don't know where I'm going for sure. That's still a mystery to me. That's a book I'm still trying to write, but I can kind of clue you in where I started and where I came from. A lot of this I have to attribute and blame on my dad. My dad was into reselling when I was younger, and he would take me to garage sales and estate sales and auctions. And I was like, God, I hate doing this stuff. This is the stupidest thing ever. Why am I going to this dusty old store to buy antiques and furniture and stuff like that? And my dad had like a furniture store. And I worked in the furniture store and helped him. And that was fun for a few years. But I mean, I was like, this is so stupid. I'm never going to do this. Like, why am I learning how to do this? Right. And back then I started an eBay store for him. So like I would sell like small stuff on eBay, like antiques and stuff like that. And then, went to high school, I went to college, and I got several degrees. I got my bachelor's degree in finance, and I was like, all right, I got my bachelor's degree in finance. You know, I'm going to go find a job in the finance world. Wrong. I started working for an auction company.
Whoa.
So that's cool. I worked for it was an online auction company for a couple years. So think basically like an eBay, but like when you buy stuff, you go to the location and pick it up.
Like everything but the house type.
Yeah.
Website.
So I worked for an online auction company for a couple years, and then after that, I moved to Alabama, where I'm at now, and didn't really know what I was doing for a little while. And then I decided to go back to school. I got my master's degree, and while I was doing that, I was working in sales, and I was doing Amazon part-time, like a little bit of reselling part-time. I was like, oh, I can still do this stuff. And then I still had my eBay account from when I helped my dad 20 years earlier.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool. The eBay account that I use now is the eBay account that I started from my dad 20 years ago.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I talk about eBay a little bit. I don't really share my eBay store just because I don't want to change the name of it, because that's like my connection to my dad still.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about maybe making like another eBay store just for like my YouTube or reselling, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been doing Amazon, I want to say, for about 4 or 5 years now. And then I graduated, got my master's degree, and then I was like, either I'm going to find a job in Alabama or I'm going to move back to Michigan, wearing my Michigan shirt. And I actually had 2 job offers when I graduated, and one of them was to work for a soft drink company, which is kind of big in the South. Like, I have no issue with that. Like, I love soft drinks. And then the other one was for a really cool organization that I thought would be just something that would be really interesting. And that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing for a while now. And I love it. So
nice. So what originally made you want to move to Alabama, though?
I was with somebody that had family down here.
I knew that was the answer.
It's okay. Like, I wasn't like, I didn't throw like a dart and I was like, I'm going to go to Alabama.
Yeah. I was going to say, that seems like a weird move from Michigan if you're not going with someone from Alabama. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I moved down here with somebody, and eventually, without getting into the details, I've been here for years, and they moved back to Michigan.
I see. Well, everybody is all the better for you now that you're in Alabama and that you're staying there and making all this great content, because apparently you got a lot of clearance in Alabama with all the Walmarts and all the Targets that you go to. Apparently it's a gold mine there, and we find pretty much nothing when we're at Walmart. I'm like, I got to do this. I gotta know. Maybe I got to make Justin proud, and nope, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah. We wonder if maybe the competition is too steep in Houston because it's more populated.
It could be. It could be like it could be that they have ins with the managers, because some people do that. I don't have that connection. I don't really advocate for that, because then that's kind of a slippery slope. As far as like trying to talk to managers and get friendly with them, that's one thing, but it's another thing to like slide with $20 and say, hey, let me know when this is derp. It's like, I'm not going down that path. It's actually kind of funny. So I'll tell you guys a little something silly about me, but occasionally I'll Google myself. Right. And I do it on YouTube sometimes just for fun. And you start typing a word, and then it autofills what it's going to predict next. And I typed in the flipping accountant, and the search results are like Lego, Amazon, eBay, location. So apparently everybody, or not everybody, but apparently a good enough amount of people are searching for my location because they want to know where my Walmarts are.
Or maybe just one stalker person is searching it like 1,000 times. So, you can never be too careful.
Yep. So I think one of these days, like if I make like another eBay account, like the title of the video will just be the flipping accountant eBay. And like nothing else, but I'm like, that'll be the number one search result when they type
in.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
everyone will go there and they'll buy Legos from you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your financial independence. How did you kind of start to look into that, and is that something that you really have as like a big part of your life that you think about a lot, and kind of what shape does that have?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about what the why of FI. So really kind of tell us your why.
Yeah. So, why would be like, I'm interested in doing more traveling. I'm interested in seeing the world. When I was growing up, it was always important that my dad encouraged me to travel and see the world. He had the opportunity to do stuff like that. He had the opportunity to travel and go to different countries. And that's not really something I've had the ability to do in my life yet. I still feel like I'm still getting started. Like, I moved to Alabama, things happened, and then I'm here by myself. I have no friends. I have no family. I started from zero here. And instead of going back to Michigan, I kind of started building my life here. And the past 2 years, I've been very blessed that YouTube has kind of like taken the trajectory that it has taken. And I'm very fortunate. I'm very grateful and very blessed that all of these things are working in my favor now. But I would like to get to the point where it's like, if I want to take a month off, or if I want to take a couple weeks off and just go travel somewhere, that would be fantastic. So there are things I'd like to do with my life that I can't do at the moment. But I think if I got to the point of having enough money in the bank that I could just be like, all right, I'm taking a month off. I'm going to go do this. I'm actually pretty pumped about this because next month I'm going to Las Vegas.
Fun.
And I'm taking my mom.
All right.
Awesome.
So my mom hasn't got to travel a ton, and earlier this year my stepdad passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
And that was tough on her, and that was tough on the family, and like I almost took an entire month off of YouTube, stuff like that, just because I was with my family and I just couldn't do this. I couldn't focus and put all of my energy here where I wanted it to be. So I was like, Mom, what do you want to do for Christmas? I was like, let's go somewhere. I was like, let's go to California, or let's go to New York, because she loves the Today Show and always wanted to go on the Today Show. And she was like, how about Las Vegas? And I was like, yup, that's happening.
Nice.
So
awesome.
That's kind of my Christmas present to my mom, is that we're going to go to Las Vegas, and I'm actually going there for a YouTube conference as well. Okay. I'm going to go to that for a couple days, and then we're going to hang out in Vegas for the rest of the time, go to the Grand Canyon and stuff like that. So
nice.
I would love to have the ability and the freedom to just do stuff like that and not worry about the effect it's going to have on my YouTube or my day job and stuff like that. So
awesome. So where did it all start then? Now that you have the why, where did this path to financial independence start?
Yeah, that's a good question too, because it's not something that I grew up with. That's
okay.
I grew up, lower middle class, stuff like that. And I never had anything handed to me. I've always worked my way up to get where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning. I'm still kind of building myself up to figure out where I want to get or where I want to go. But I think we used to read some of the same websites. I used to read like Mr. Money Mustache.
Yeah.
I used to read Budgets Are Sexy. I like that website. That's kind of funny. I used to read that like just about every day. And then you find like the Reddit fire forums and stuff like that, and then the Facebook communities, and then it just spirals and all of this. So it's kind of like once you start going down that rabbit hole, you kind of get hooked, and you get into that, and you're like, oh, this is great. And I don't talk about it too much in my my life, my day job or whatever, because you don't want to go into your job and be like, hey, I'm thinking about retirement.
Right.
My strategies are to save as much money as I can so I can quit.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that. I don't know why, but they're not interested.
Kind of weird. Yeah, I don't get it.
They don't want you to be financially independent. It's like they want you to be stuck in the job or something.
Right. Yeah. It's so strange. It's almost like they just want you to just stay forever, and then they'll just, as soon as you're gone, they'll have a job offer out there, and they'll hire somebody else, and then it'll be like nothing ever changed and nothing ever happened.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely one reason why we are pursuing financial independence. It's like the idea that you are just replaceable, you're expendable. So we want to make something for ourselves. Yeah. Reselling is one way to do it for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys always finding amazing stuff out there. I can't imagine it'll take too long for you to build that nest egg, so you can do whatever you want, have that money and have that freedom. And a close friend of mine, she always attributed money with freedom. It's not that she feels trapped or whatever, but she's like, if I'm good at saving money, if I'm good at investing, then I have more choices and I have more freedom. And to a certain level of extent, I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, you can look at it down to like when you don't have very much money, you can think about it like, if you don't have enough money to buy like the bigger thing of toilet paper, then you have to spend more per roll on toilet paper, because you could only get, the 6 rolls instead of, whatever Costco sells 50 at a time or whatever,
20
and things like that. So having more money does give you more options and actually enables you to spend less money, which is kind of backwards and like not really what you would think that the world should be like, but that is
bulk pricing is just like a phenomenon that we have loved. People love Costco for that reason, where it's like you spend more money, but you save more money. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny, like in the past couple years, my goal was to like make as much money as I could with Amazon and then start investing in real estate. I was like, that's where I want to go. I want to invest in real estate. And I have some friends that are financially independent, and they have a website and they have an Instagram. And their nickname is it's called Rethink the Rat Race. That's their handle, like on all social media platforms and stuff. And they have like, I want to say they have like 10 rental properties.
Wow, nice.
And it was kind of cool because they were doing their rental properties as just like straight rentals, like, year term lease. They buy something, they fix it up, they rent it out, they're good to go. And it was kind of funny because when we connected, we started hanging out or whatever. I was doing Airbnb at the time, because I was renting out a spare room in my house on Airbnb. Because it's almost like house hacking, right? That's a FI thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I was renting out a spare room in my house that is now storage.
Right.
For all the Legos that you're invested in.
Right. Yeah. For all the Lego and all the things I haven't listed, or my death pile, essentially. But I was doing Airbnb, and I was doing really good. Like I was making like at least $500 a month.
Nice.
And it was cool because if I wanted people here, if I wanted to make extra money, I literally just turned it on and the room filled up quick. And then if I wanted privacy, I just turned it off. There are things that go along with that, cleaning and changing the sheets and dealing with the customers and Bernie. And it was so funny because I thought Bernie was going to be like a big detractor. I thought people were going to be like, oh, this high energetic dog, nobody wants to be around this the mutt. And everybody loved Bernie. Like he was like the draw. He was like the attraction. Like everybody just loved spending time with Bernie.
Yeah.
And I did Airbnb for over a year. And then I stopped kind of when the world went crazy the past couple of years. And I had Airbnb superhost status up until last month. I just lost it because I haven't rented out. But anyways, my friends Rethink the Rat Race, when we started hanging out or whatever, they turned several of their properties into Airbnbs. So now they make more money renting them out as Airbnbs and having like hiring people to like do all the work to clean it, maintain it, and all that stuff. And they're making more money doing that than they are like as regular rental properties.
Yeah, we've heard that short-term rentals is a way to go. And well, as far as if you want to make more money, but sometimes there's like a ebb and flow of how that works with the seasons, depending on your location.
Yeah.
Right.
Compared to, if you have a 1-year contract, then it's guaranteed for a year. Whereas, well, I've always thought it was fascinating. Anyway, we don't have to go into it, but I've heard a lot of great things about short-term rentals.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah. So is that still your plan? You started off saying, I had been. So tell us what you're thinking now.
Yeah, so that was my goal, right? I was like, make as much money as you can with Amazon and then get into real estate. Real estate is so stinking expensive now. It's so difficult to like get into it. And the market, like I know every market is hot right now, but the area that I'm in, houses do not stay on the market for a day, like a day or less, like it's gone. And I'm just not interested in just dropping all of my money to just buy one property and then be stuck.
Right.
I feel like that would kind of limit me in what I can be doing right now. I'd rather have that money to be doing other stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
That makes sense. We had considered just real estate in general, but I'm now interested in lockers, storage units and all the big scheme of storage units, because they have spaces that people can do short-term or long-term. And if you don't necessarily have tenants that can ruin it that badly, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of just sell it off, and the person that buys the auction, they have to clean it out. And so it's just so fascinating to me that's an opportunity. So
we could talk for hours about that, because I used to be into that too. Like my dad had me into that. We bought storage lockers, we cleaned them out. Every unit has at least one fake Christmas tree in it. I guarantee. I'm pretty sure every single unit we cleaned had at least one tree in it. But
that's so funny.
But that's the thing. Like people, that's another thing too. People make good money doing that too. It really just depends on like where you want to live, where how you want to manage it. Because it's kind of cool. Because some of those storage places, like they have like an on-site manager. Or you could just like live a mile away and just manage it, and not even be there, or have a manager just take care of it for you. But yeah, lots of cool options there. But that would be a huge discussion for another time.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's catch up on the chat. We've kind of been neglecting them. So Jen is here. Welcome.
Hey, Jen.
How's it going? So glad you're here. Rachel said that's how Drew moved to Missouri. That's how I stayed in Houston. I met Kang, and I was telling everyone before that I was going to move back to Ohio. And then I met him, and now there's no plans to move back to Ohio.
That's right. You couldn't leave that smile, huh?
I know, yeah. And then Rachel says, your mom is going to tell everyone at the conference about your channel. She's going to be like, this is my son, Justin. He has a YouTube channel. And they're going to be like,
right. We're going to be at a YouTube conference, and that's how my mom's going to introduce me. She's not going to be like, oh, he's a CPA and he works here. She's going to be like, hey, this is Justin. He has a YouTube channel. And I'll be like, Mom, everyone here has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
She's going to be your number one hype woman.
Yeah.
She really is, for sure.
Exactly. And Christy said, we had a great short-term rental, but the neighborhood banned them.
Oh, yeah. People are cracking down on short-term rentals.
Yeah. That's the hard thing about Airbnb is that the regulations and all of that are constantly changing, and you don't really get to control a lot of it.
Yeah. I was reading today that in Hawaii they're changing the local law from 30-day short-term rental, which in my mind 30 days is not a short-term rental, but they're changing it from 30 days to 90 days.
Wow.
So that's really gonna hurt Airbnb and really gonna hurt those short-term rental companies, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we've got Paul, the Philly Flipper.
Yeah, and he has a very serious question for you. What percentage of your money goes to Bernie, and why is it 100%?
That's the whole reason I do what I do, is I want Bernie to have the best life that he can.
So is he the beneficiary of your will? Like, who was the designer? Karl Lagerfeld left all of his money to his cat. Is that how your will to have all the money goes to Bernie?
No, I don't think so. He wouldn't know what to do with it. He has separation anxiety, so like if I'm out of eyesight, he kind of like loses it.
Oh man,
I'm not kidding. Like my backyard, I don't have any pictures of it right now, but my backyard is like, he has a track like burned.
Wow.
Oh, really?
All he does, like all day, like if I'm not here, he's back and forth in the same path. And I've tried to like put grass seed on it. I've tried to like keep him off of it for a month. I've tried to turn it into like a track, like put obstacles in it didn't stop. So
wow.
But yeah, if I'm not around, he's super anxious, and he's like, where's my dad and why is he not here?
Oh man.
Well, the pandemic did not help the separation anxiety whatsoever.
Negative. If I have to start going into the office, which is the plan, he's gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
That makes me so sad. I love Bernie.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Yesterday, I put up a little poll on my Instagram. I was like, "Yeah, do you guys should I have Bernie in more of my videos?" And I think like out of like 100 votes, I got like 99 yeses, and then one person that needs to be banned. I'm not sure.
Sometimes on those polls, I accidentally vote the wrong way, and you cannot change your vote, and it's so sad. So maybe that one person just accidentally clicked, like they meant to click yes, and they accidentally clicked no. So
we'll give them a pass. We'll let it slide this time, but keep an eye on them.
Yeah. So if real estate is not the plan, how are you kind of fueling your financial independence? Is it, investments? Is it, are you planning to, use reselling once you retire from your W-2 job? What does that look like? Or both?
I'm trying to figure that out. Because real estate kind of was the plan. Right now, I'm not so sure, just because mortgage rates are going up, which means they're intentionally trying to slow it down, making it harder for people to buy homes right now. But this area, it doesn't matter. Like homes are still getting snapped up. So I don't know if real estate is my plan in the next 5 years or so. I'd kind of like to focus more on investing, putting money into the stock market. I have friends that do well with like options tradings and all that. I've never really gotten into that. That would be something I'd be interested in learning how to do. And I had this harebrained scheme, like, and don't tell anybody at my job and don't repeat this. It's a good thing this is being recorded, right?
Right. Good thing this isn't on the internet for everyone.
Yeah, good thing it's not on the internet for the public. But I had this idea. I was like, maybe I could quit my job and just focus like on full-time Amazon and full-time YouTube. I was like, what if I took the plunge? Like, what would it take? And then I got a raise and I got promoted at my job. And I was like, that's not happening either.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, I don't know. I really don't know what's next. But I know you guys have had Eric, the college picker, on here before, and he and I chat like on Instagram and stuff like that. But I really like his goal and his method of like getting more evergreen tutorial and evergreen information out there and affiliate marketing and all that kind of stuff to kind of like build up his retirement fund and financial independence and all that kind of stuff. And I would kind of like to work towards that too, because I think that's a fun way to like always be solving problems like every day.
Right. You know, that's so interesting, because they basically giving you one more reason to not quit by giving you more responsibility, more money. It makes it tough. But at the same time, I think it's just so interesting that you've got this dichotomy of building more on the YouTube side because it's so successful. Now you've basically, I was looking through your YouTube the other day, the channel, and you had celebrated 20,000 about 7 or so months ago, and you've doubled it since, or almost doubled. Almost, we're almost there. Let's get into 40,000, y'all.
Right.
But we've been wanting to ask you since you started this whole thing with making more how-to videos. Is that going to be like a 50-50 split? You're trying to really split your YouTube time with making more evergreen content, or are you going to eventually try to do like 75 or 80% of it?
Yeah. So that's a challenge. Like that's a balance that I'm trying to work out right now. In the first part of this year, the first quarter of this year, I made 14 tutorial how-to videos.
Wow.
My goal for this quarter is to double that. So my goal is to do 28 to 30 how-to videos. Wow. I would like to do like 10 a month. Like in my mind, I think that's doable. And because an instructional tutorial, it doesn't have to be like 20, 25 minutes long. It could be 5 minutes long, or it could be 10 minutes long. Right. It just needs to be the length that is appropriate to get the information out and to answer the question that somebody is looking to answer. Right? Like most people don't realize this, but like YouTube is like one of the biggest search engines on the planet. And how many times have you guys gone to YouTube to be like, how do I fix this around my house? How do I change this particular thing in my TV or whatever? It's like there's so many very specific questions that people just put into YouTube, and people get paid for this information and people search for it every day. Right. So here's my problem with my channel, and then here's how I see like a fix or whatever. The problem with my channel, the problem with my videos, like most of my shopping videos are like, it's kind of like a firework, right? It goes up, it explodes, and then it comes right back down. And most of mine are very timely. Like my videos that I record about shopping, I've recorded in the past few weeks. Well, somebody 6 months from now is not going to care what I bought 6 months ago. Right. So really there's not a whole lot of reason to watch my older videos because it's not relevant anymore. So some of my videos have kind of gone semi-viral, and I've gotten very lucky in that sense that it wasn't just the clearance stuff. It was somebody kind of crazy that I encountered, and then that's still interesting today. Yeah. So that's kind of the hook. If you can if you can get people's attention with something that is the idea or the theme or the story is evergreen, then sure, that's great. That's always going to do well. But what I've noticed in my metrics and my analytics is that most of my videos go straight up and then they come straight down, and then they don't come back up unless they go viral. And there's no way to predict or control that. Right. Yeah. So, there's things you can do to set yourself up for success. You can make more videos. You can do more clickbait type thumbnails or clickbait type titles and stuff like that. And then that can be a backfire too, because if they're if they're clicking and they're not getting what you feel like you offered them or what was promised, then they are going to be upset and they're going to, talk smack about you, and they're going to leave it in the comments, and you're going to catch hate and all of that. Like, which is kind of funny because a few of my clickbaity type videos are the ones that have gone viral, but the like to dislike ratio is like 92-93%, where most of my videos are normally like 99 to 100-ish, like on the positive rate.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
So still pretty good.
Yeah.
But my plan is to try to do like 10 tutorials a month if possible, and then still do my shopping vlogs in addition to that, which it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. You guys know you're a team. You make videos. You do the reselling. You do all that stuff. I'm one person, and Bernie does not carry his weight.
Yeah.
So he looks handsome on camera, and I have women message me, "Hey, how's Bernie doing?" I'm like, "Hey, this is not why. Come on now." But it's going to get to a point where hopefully I can be making enough with YouTube that makes that decision to go full time a lot easier.
That's great.
Because if I'm making like $50 or $100 a day passively on YouTube, that's a whole heck of a lot easier to take the plunge, I guess.
Right.
And maybe that boils down to our risk versus reward, conservative, not conservative type mentality or thinking or whatever. So do you need a parachute before you jump? I don't know. What kind of, how big of a parachute do you need? So.
Right. Exactly.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I think, that's part of it in terms of, financial independence. There are many ways to, achieve that. Right. And, some people do it based on they retire just on their investments alone. They're using drawdown, meaning that they're selling their shares of their index funds or their stocks, and then using that money as that's what they're going to spend. And then there's using passive income, on YouTube or reselling or, well, if you're reselling, you're not really totally retired because that's still work. And so it's YouTube, it's still work, but it's like a different kind of more free, flexible sort of work. Right. Or real estate is the same, where income is kind of coming in, where it almost feels different because it kind of feels safer in some ways than just selling your investment.
It's tangible. It's something that you could turn around and sell if the market changed or whatever. I can't sell a video.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, if you have a sponsorship, that's one thing or whatever, but I can't just be like, oh, I want to quit YouTube. I'm going to sell all my videos. Who the heck is going to buy that?
Right.
Exactly.
I think that it's really good that you've change the mentality of your YouTube videos, because Eric did that for us. He was on, and we have been following kind of his transition from reselling to more how-to videos. And it's really just about providing value, right? And we have only made a few how-to and a few, value add evergreen content, but we can see that it'll be there and useful for people for the long run. And so I just think that it's great that you're kind of making this transition, because you're thinking way far ahead. And that's so financially independent minded of you. Just when you're investing in a long-term investment, it's you basically lose the use of the money now, but it's going to provide dividends in the long run. So I see that's parallel. And I think that it's great that you are putting out all this valuable content.
Yeah. And it's kind of a struggle in the sense too, because this past year has been great for me on YouTube, and I've been very blessed. And I know I've already said that already, but I am it's not just I'm not just saying that. I feel very lucky and I feel very fortunate that it's taken off for me. But I've kind of gotten spoiled, because it's really nice when you have a video that just comes out of the gate and you get 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 views. You're oh, this is great. This is going to be so nice. And then 2 days later, it just tanks and nobody watched it again, or it's getting nothing. And evergreen content and evergreen tutorials and stuff like that, it's completely different. Right. It starts slow, it stays slow, and then it might hit at one point, and it might just the algorithm might pick it up. And it's anytime somebody Googles how to download this report for eBay, maybe that video will start popping up in search results, and then you've got the keywords and you've got all of these things that are just helping it, and then it just like takes off, and it's kind of crazy. And of course, it's another one of those things, like you can't predict how it's going to happen. You can't predict if or when or whatever, but it just helps to answer questions. And there's, you want to find out what kind of questions people have. Well, just go to YouTube, type in, how to do this on eBay, and it'll pre-fill what people are searching for. And you can just click on one of those and go, okay, well, these videos are not answering this question. There's a gap there. Like, I could answer this, like, we could explain this better, or, go to a video and watch it, and you're like, this video sucks. I could do much better. And I've done that for a couple of videos too. And I've gotten lucky that mine have like taken off.
Yeah, we've noticed, just like you said, we've noticed that it just takes time to build up. It really doesn't skyrocket. It's just one of these slow moving, very, very slow, just going up. And it's kind of frustrating at first, but you get to see that as a long-term investor, as long-term investors ourselves with investments, it's gratifying to finally see it at the end of it. But it just hurts so much when you put something out there and then
it's all down arrows.
It's all down arrows.
It's like low grade down arrows.
10 out of 10.
You.
It's like, oh, great.
Right. Yeah. You can't you can't really let that you can't let the initial numbers not knock it down, right? Like I'm trying to answer stuff that's not out there. I'm trying to do things in my own way that I can provide value. Or if I find a video that I think could be good, but it's somebody that made it is not very good, like I'll take a stab at it. I feel the same way. Like, my past few videos have been like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, but that's okay because it's meant to be long-term growth.
Yep.
Because, even if it's a 7 out of 10 today, it could be, 2 out of 10 in 6 months or whatever. So as long as that baseline where I'm getting views every day, as long as that is creeping up and that's going up, like that's what I'm shooting for. Like Eric College Picker, like his channel is fantastic for that because he's shifted into how-to and tutorials and all that stuff. He's getting like thousands of views a day on videos that he made 2 years ago. Yeah. And he's making like $40-$50 a day. And he could stop right now and not have to pick up another camera and still be making money every day.
Yeah. We hope to have that one day. Well, maybe we got to do a lot more we got to transition from haul videos to more how-to videos. Yeah. But anyway, we want to be respectful of your time. Actually, let's pull up the chat real quick.
Sure.
Before we try to close this out. Yeah. Rachel says her evergreen contents are top videos each month. Really good information. Yeah. So we see that as a trend, and hopefully people find more inspiration to do more of those videos, because there is a need for a lot of these different types of reselling how-tos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bob Buys. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's close this all out with what we call the final four. We ask all of our guests these questions. And so the first one is, what is your favorite finance related content, whether it be a book or YouTube or YouTube channel or podcast? Do you have anything that or a website? Do you kind of keep your mind focused on financial independence?
My favorite books or content on that. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been reading too much lately on financial independence. I've been reading more about communication lately, which is not directly tied to finance, but I mean, it's a part of it because I want to be able to communicate better in my life and all aspects of my life. So that's something I've been focusing on lately, personally. But as far as like websites go, like I was always a huge fan of like Budgets Are Sexy. Like that website for me was always just fun. The main guy was Jay Money, and he had like a crazy mohawk, and he always talked about money and stuff like that. There's some great YouTube channels out there in finance, and I feel like I could make some of that content, but I watched some of these videos and I'm like, man, they explained it so well. I'm like, the graphics were so good. I'm like, I don't think I could do it better than that. So, that's kind of discouraged me. I'm like, I could talk about these things, but I'm like, these videos are already really good.
Yeah, that's how we feel sometimes. We feel like such posers when we talk about our financial independence journey. But you know, to us, it's like we're just sharing what we know in our journey. So it's like so different than that. But that's good that you know you're not necessarily trying to step into something that you're not comfortable with. So.
Yeah, and maybe you know, maybe one day I will be comfortable with that. I do plan on like next year, like around this time, probably in January, I'm gonna start doing more tax stuff, I guess, because I got a lot of tax questions and I couldn't answer them all. And I still, like, up until 2 days ago, guys, I still had people in my inbox. Hey, Justin, I have a tax question. Oh my gosh, this is my situation, and just wrote me like paragraphs. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, like I don't have time to help you and I can't offer you advice. You know, here's somebody you could talk to. But there's some great channels on that as well, like accounting and a lot of stuff that seems easy to me is not easy for everybody, right? And that's the same with all of us, right? Like you guys are really good at cooking, it sounds like, but you know, you could be much better cooks than me, and it could be very difficult for me to make the same thing as you. But it's like I forget sometimes, like, you know, something that'd be easy for me might not be easy for everybody else. So that's why I want to make more of that kind of stuff where I'm explaining, hey, it's super easy how to pull up this report. Hey, it's super easy how to pull up your 1099. Because that's going to be a big thing next year too, is like every single reselling platform, every single platform where you're getting paid is going to have a 1099, and people are not going to know what the heck to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Bob says, communication and public speaking skills are always useful in everyday life. That is so true. And especially on YouTube too. Yeah. It's like totally fits right in, but I don't know if that's the kind of communication you're talking about, or if it's more like interpersonal communication. It might be.
No, it's a little bit of mixed. It's a little bit of both. And it was so funny. I was talking to my buddy at the gym about it today, and we were talking about communication, and he was like, "Oh, you need to read this book." And I was like, "Dude, I am halfway through that book right now." I'm like, "It's such a good book." I was like, "Did you enjoy it?" He goes, "I read 20 pages and then I quit." But he goes, "They were great 20 pages."
All right, you got to let us in on the title of this book, Justin.
It's called Nonviolent Communication.
Communication.
And it's not as heinous as it sounds. Basically, it's like any kind of communication where we're like hurting somebody or upsetting somebody. You would consider that to be a violent communication because you're harming either the person or the relationship with that person. A nonviolent communication would be getting your message across, explaining yourself, being empathetic to the other person, you know, expressing yourself clearly, saying what you need, how to enhance your life, or learning how to enhance somebody else's life, and clearly articulating that and making sure that the message is going both ways. So it just to give you like a real world example, right? Like if I wanted Kang to cook more for me, I could say, "Kang, I've been upset because you haven't been cooking lately, and I really enjoy your cooking, and your cooking enhances my life. Would you please consider making meals 2 times a week? That would greatly enhance my life, and I would greatly appreciate you for it." You know, something like that. It's a very simple explanation, but it's like, hey, I'm feeling a certain way. Here's why it's making me feel this way. It's not about blame. It's not like you're doing this to me. It's like, here's what I've noticed is going on in life. Here's how I think it could be improved. Here's my thoughts, my recommendation. What do you think? And it's a back and forth. So,
all right, Justin, you've convinced me. Come to Houston, and I'll cook you a meal.
Yeah.
All right. See, it works, guys. Proof is in place.
Okay.
And Miss Lachey is here.
Hi, Miss Lachey.
Yes, definitely watch the replay. Thanks for being here, though.
Popeyes. The thing is, every single person is different. As someone with dyslexia and ADHD, your explanation may be the one that makes sense to someone. Yeah, that makes a lot. That's perfect. I normally have to watch a dozen videos to find one I get. Yeah, that, you know, every person is different. Every person understands things differently. And you know, when it comes to financial independence, there's that phrase that goes, personal finance is personal. And that can be pretty much for anything, right? With learning, with understanding videos. So that's such a great thing that Bob brought up, because it's so relevant.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And somebody might explain something slightly different, or it might click when you watch one person's video versus another. I totally understand that. Sometimes I have self-doubt, or I talk down to myself. I'm like, oh, I can't make a video as good as this or whatever. But maybe that's just, myself just kind of hurting myself. Maybe it's like, maybe I should take a chance and do this. And then you never know, because you never know what's going to take off, because you never know who's watching. You never know what it's going to resonate with somebody else. And that's the thing too with like making YouTube videos, is the more content you put out there, the more likely you are to find an engaging audience or find something that resonates with people. And it's just, you just have to take the time to do it.
Yeah,
exactly. So was there one specific reseller on social media or on YouTube that you started following, like maybe when you were starting on Amazon, or just like what kind of got you into the reseller community?
Yeah, back into it after you had put away.
Yeah. So years ago, I used to more closely follow like Steve Rakin, like Rakin Profit.
Oh yeah.
RakinProfit.com. and I used to closely follow him, and I actually met him and a few other resellers in Las Vegas for a reseller meetup.
Nice.
And I met him, and I met Jason Philippi. I think that's his last name. He's a really cool guy too. And I met like a bunch of people that were in this like really close like reseller circle, because I was in like one of their reseller Facebook groups, and I used to watch Steve stuff all the time, and he always put out great information. That's kind of how I got into it. And this was way before my YouTube channel, way before I had any sort of online social media presence or whatever. And then the past couple of years, I was like, hey, I'm going to start doing this. Hey, I'm going to start making videos. Hey, I'm going to film myself talking to myself, buying Lego at Walmart. And okay, people enjoy that. I guess I'll do it more, Yeah. But yeah, so I kind of started watching Steve Rakin Profit back in the day. Resell Rabbit, John Dugan. Do you guys know John, or did you ever watch any of his stuff before?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he used to be into like thrifting. Now he owns like a giant warehouse, and it's like he has a store and he buys truckloads of stuff. And he still makes videos, but it's mostly about like his store and stuff. It's kind of tough because it's like kind of harder to relate to him now,
right?
Because he's on such a different scale, he's on such a different level, and I'm like, I don't know if there's anything I can gain from this. So my time is limited on what I can watch and stuff like that. So I'm generally only watching stuff if if I feel like I can learn something from it, or if it's a different niche than I'm in, something like that. But I mean, there's tons of stuff out there to learn. There's just not enough time in the day.
Right. Exactly. That is so true. Yeah. Patrick Murphy says, even the tone of voice and delivery of the content makes a difference. And Bob Buys echoes that. I think that's true. And honestly, if someone has a video and they have a really good explanation, but they have an annoying voice, I'm not watching it. Like
you're not going for it.
Not going for it. I'll choose a different one.
I feel like I need to record a video in like with my face, but I need to hire Patrick Murphy to do the voiceover.
Yeah, there you go. and
just kind of like not even warn people, just be like, I'm sorry, my throat's really itchy, and then take like a sip of something, and then just have him take over. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be.
Yeah, he would need to match up your exact lip movement, but that would be so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. What has been your, aside from Legos, what has been your favorite thing or category to resell? Or maybe you can even just tell us about your highest dollar flip.
Sure. Well, there's multiple questions that you're throwing at me there, so I'll try to take it in pieces. So Lego is a huge thing for me. Even more so, like toys is a great category. They're small, they're easy to learn, they're light to ship. My absolute favorite category would be video games, like high value, high return, easy to ship. Everybody plays them, young people, old people, me once in a while. I think it's such a we talk about evergreen. It's such a category that kind of touches on everybody's lives, because you either remember growing up playing Nintendo or Sega Genesis or something like that, or your kids play Nintendo Switch and they're really into it. So I kind of feel like that's like a good unifier. And that's why I've gotten really into doing Whatnot lately in the video game category, because it's kind of fun. It's interactive like this, and you can talk to the chat and talk about video games and talk about nerdy stuff like that, which is kind of fun because that's like a different side of me, I guess, that I don't really go into so much in my shopping vlogs and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I've been doing that lately, and I've kind of had shiny object syndrome with Whatnot because I've done a few of those, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then my sales start to drop on Amazon. And like, oh crap, I still have to do this too. So it's very strange. It's almost like there's not enough time to do everything.
Yeah.
Right. There are only so many hours in the day.
Exactly.
And you're only one person. You're only one man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
So,
And Bernie isn't pulling his weight, so
he's done with his toy, and he's moved from one spot of laying on the floor to another spot of laying on the floor. And I have to be very careful because he's dark, and it's dark in here, and I have the ring light set up, but I sometimes he'll lay like right behind my chair.
Oh,
so
no.
I have to swivel and make sure that we're clear before I move. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's been a very good boy.
Yeah.
Throughout the stream.
Exactly.
Yeah, he hears me talking, so he's like, "Oh, there must be somebody else here." So he'll look around, and then he won't see you guys, and then he'll just chill. He's fine.
Nice.
Oh man. Okay, so our last question is just for you to plug your different social media, your YouTube, your Whatnot, all that. So you can give one last kind of plug for everything.
Okay, awesome.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I'm sure they appreciate it as well if I knew which way to point. Make sure you subscribe to them if you're not already. I would appreciate that. If you have the chance to come over and you want to learn about selling Lego or finding stuff at Walmart or hunting for clearance, you can come check out my channel. I am my handle is the Flipping Accountant on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I have a Twitter handle, but I think it's just Flipping Accountant. I don't think it's the Flipping Accountant. Unfortunately, I have the website, the Flipping Accountant. So anywhere you could find the Flipping Accountant, it's likely to be me. But yeah, I appreciate you guys inviting me on and to hang out with you guys. This was fun. If you guys are interested, you can come hang out with me on Whatnot. It's kind of like this, except I hold up video games and say corny dad jokes. So, and that's not even acting. That's just me being me.
Yeah, make sure you go follow Justin. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Justin, as well. And you guys have a great night. Take care.